Welcome back to New Gameplay Today. I'm Leo Vader. Matt Miller is with me.
Hello.
Hello. This game is called Ape Out.
Yes, it is. It's Ape Out. It's a new game being published by Devolver Digital. And hey, man, I'm a gorilla. Look at me go. But look, my other gorilla friends, they have not done so well. They've been tested on, and that's no good. And so now I'm the only gorilla left. And I got to get out of here, man. I got to get out.
That's good motivation. I'm with you so far.
Yeah.
The gameplay looks at first glance like a Hotline Miami type of deal.
Yeah.
Is that unfairly reductive?
I think it's a appropriate first step to understanding this game to compare it to Hotline Miami.
Okay.
Like that game, it has some stylish music that adds to the experience, and it has this kind of like top-down view. But there's a lot of things that are different. Ape Out's a game about being a gorilla that is trying to escape out into the wild after being presumably experimented upon or some other bad thing that's happening.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of levels, and they slowly add in complexity of different gameplay mechanics and level experiences. Here, this is like right at the beginning of the game, and so things are very basic. We're trying to escape this facility. There's dudes with guns, and we're murdering them.
Yeah.
They deserve it, I think, is the general sentiment.
Sure.
And whether they deserve it or not is beside the point, that we're gorilla and we don't really care about ethics.
They're hitting the wall so hard their arms are flying off.
They are. We're a pretty strong gorilla here.
Yeah.
And you'll note that as things are going along here, that one of the really cool things about the game is that the music is adaptive to the experience. It's this kind of like, almost like a freeform jazz thing.
Yeah.
That responds very specifically to when you're flinging these bodies into the walls and when you're punching them.
The style is like awesome. That game over screen was really cool.
Yeah, the game over screen shows you the map of the, I think, procedurally generated level that you've just gone through.
Okay.
And the game kind of continues. You know, you're getting shot every once in a while. You see a kind of a flash that shows that they managed to get a hit in on me.
And now you're bleeding.
And now I'm bleeding, and that it shows on the on my footsteps and things like that. You also see changes in footsteps as you move through blood.
Yeah.
And the game keeps adding in these different things to make things more interesting. So like later on, for instance, we see things go dark, and so we're running through the darkness, and the bad guys have flashlights, and we have to deal with that. Mm-hmm. There are actually multiple discs to the game. The whole thing is organized as if it's like a collection of jazz albums. And so this is the jazz album about this particular gorilla and his escape from this lab facility.
Yeah, it's a great album. That's one of my dad's favorites.
I love it. But there's other albums in the game. I'm only have played this for preview, so we don't know the full scope of the game yet. But I did get far enough to know that like you can get this gorilla out, and then there's more stuff after that. You go through side A and then side B, and then when that's done, you move on. Those are guys with grenades, by the way. They're real dangerous.
Bomber types.
You got to be real careful of them.
I know the enemy type.
Exactly.
What about the controls? What are you working with now, and does it expand later?
I've been playing this on PC with a controller, with an Xbox controller, and that works really great. There's a sense of momentum to the gorilla's movement, and the trigger pulls to attack these guys and swing a punch at them, or also, if I can get up to a guy here, you can throw guys like that.
How do you do that?
So you hold down left trigger, and then you can just walk around with them for a while, which is actually a pretty good idea once you start getting to these grenade guys.
Yeah.
Because they cause all sorts of problems if they explode right next to you.
Make some distance.
Yep.
It looks very satisfying.
It is very satisfying.
I'm jealous that you're playing it right now, to be honest.
There's, I think the game has a lot of stuff going for it. It's very simple. But I could imagine people really digging just this sort of cathartic vibe to the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you can get behind the idea of like a gentle gorilla who's been forced to go wild because all of his friends have been killed, and he wants to get out of here. He wants to live, right?
Yeah.
And so there's also something about the actual about the interplay between the gameplay and the music that is probably hard to get entirely as we're sitting here like talking about it. But when
if you're not the one playing it, probably.
Well, and there's when you're talking over it, you probably don't, or when you're hearing talking over it, you're not getting that full sense of what the music is doing in terms of this immersive sensation of violence and frustration and momentum that the game manages to communicate when you're just playing it and you're getting into it.
Yeah.
Because this drum score, I mean, it's a little bit reminiscent. If anybody's seen the movie Whiplash, right, about the drummer, it's got some of that same vibe where there's stuff that is tied to the emotional state of what's going on.
And it's a bit more metaphorical about the life of a drummer versus Whiplash's.
Yes. There's not a lot of metaphor here. I mean, this is just, you're kind of like almost like this is what's happening in the head of the gorilla.
Yeah.
Is he's got these drums going on, and as he kills things, they get more intense and violent. But it's stylish, it's fun, and it increasingly has some like depth to it as you get pretty deeper into it. At the same time, I don't think it's ever going to be a game that, I'd have a hard time playing this game for 6 hours at a stretch or anything like that. It's more a game that is very satisfying in short doses, where you play a couple levels and get a little bit of frustration out. Maybe you had a bad day at work. Or you got in an argument with a partner or a friend, and you just want to kind of, ape out. And that's what the game's about.
Well, I need raids and loot and everything, so I'll probably be skipping this one. To be infinitely living. I need it to outlive me.
Right.
This looks so cool.
Yeah,
I love video games sometimes, like, there's no other. This looks like a cartoon come to life, really.
And it's... It's surprising. It's constantly throwing new little surprises at you, and so even right at the moment that you think you kind of have an idea what's going on, there's something new. In the second disc, it's a little bit of a spoiler.
Okay.
It's a whole new setting, right? You're not in the lab anymore. There's a gorilla who's in a high-rise building, right?
Okay.
And you got to descend through the stairs of the high-rise building. I don't know that much more needs to be said about it. This is Ape Out. It's coming at the end of February, available for anybody to purchase. We have an early build here that we're looking at.
What consoles is it coming to? You know?
I'm playing it on PC, and I'm not sure if it's coming to anything else.
I know Switch. If you actually want to back out to the menu,
yeah.
They helpfully put it here in this preview build. It's very smart, but it's like on the main menu. It just says the date and the console.
I think you're right, actually. Let's go look at that. So yeah, there you go. The answer to your question, it's available February 28th on Nintendo Switch and PC.
So we covered it. We turned out to actually be very knowledgeable. Yes, we said both of those things.
We knew the things.
Yeah, we just
didn't know that we knew the things.
Yeah, well, thanks for joining me, Miller.
Yeah, you got it.
And watch new gameplay today every week. New episodes, youtube.com/GameInformer. Bye.